and I know for a fact कि Indian honeymoon tips, Indian honeymoon couple travel, Indian honeymoon in Maldives. These are some of the popular searches on YouTube that okay, many people would actually be searching these. Come to social media and you're scrolling through. If I have to deliver that message to you on Instagram, I have to be entertaining to catch your
Correct.
attention in the very first second, so that you'll give me your eyes and ears for the next 10 seconds.
Mhm.
उस भले ही 10 सेकंड में टॉफी का रैपर मैंने एंटरटेनिंग करा था, बट टॉफी वाज एजुकेशनल ओनली, but I had to unlearn my way of delivering content as well. In the past 1.5 years, there you read up this. It's very
Mhm.
exciting. कि micro और nano influencers का जमाना आ रहा है. Why? There's a win-win situation to it. That
Interesting. Really. Oh wow. I never thought about this so deeply, but obviously.
yeah. So because I have to think deeply.
कोविड-19 का इफेक्ट्स के बारे में हमें ऐसे ऐसे में लिखना था. So now, normally what COVID-19 people write is digitization, remote working and all.
Hmm.
But that is
Yeah.
something that YouTube industry, from what I understand, the creators already do. They've already
Hmm.
very much into tech, and they already work remotely most of the time, apart from if they
Yeah.
have a big team.
Yeah.
So what more
Yeah.
can there be?
Hmm.
What more? How else has this affected this industry? So that is what I was intrigued in. So my first question is that so since your time in this industry, how has the YouTube industry evolved in the last 2 years for you? Given the context is of the pandemic.
I'll actually break this question down into two parts. Since you said how YouTube has evolved in the last 2 years, is the umbrella duration कि अच्छा 2 साल में कैसे evolve हुआ है, and then you said for you. तो
Hmm.
ये दो सिरे का question है. One
Okay.
is YouTube how itself actually evolved in the last 2 years, और फिर है कि मेरे लिए कैसे, like my category of YouTubers if I say.
Hmm.
तो देखो YouTube में you might have heard कि सबसे पहले तो algorithm is a very good bad word,
Hmm.
क्योंकि people like me have to sometimes put content for the algorithm. We have to sometimes put it for audiences like you. And the third person that I have to make content is my own genuine self as well. So if I'm able to craft a balance, कि अच्छा ये is something that I wanted to speak about, as well as there might be an audience for it, वो तो बाद में पता चलता है वीडियो डाल के, but the algorithm will also keep evolving. So in the last 2 years, what YouTube has done is that उसके algorithm में और भी ज्यादा focus आ रहा है on keywords. कि अच्छा जो कीवर्ड्स यूट्यूब में जब वीडियो डालते हैं तो इन द बैक एंड देयर आर टैग्स एंड कीप टेलिंग मी कि अच्छा मुझे ये पता है या नहीं पता है, सो दैट आई नो दैट इफ आई एम स्टेटिंग द ऑब्वियस देन यू कैन एक्चुअली टेल. So on these keywords what happens is that
Mm-hmm.
when I upload a YouTube video, you only get to see the title and description. But I get to put 500 characters of keywords that, okay, if I say Paris, Switzerland, travel, vlog, Indian couple, bar couple, couple goals, travel goals, all these phrases I put in until I have actually finished up 500 characters.
Hmm.
Uh, English में बात कर सकते हैं, right? I
हाँ
don't
हाँ
know.
आराम से.
We have been actually conversing in English because
नहीं
I
English is
just
fine.
thought if I put this video out तो हिंदी भी चलना चाहिए थोड़ा.
हाँ बिल्कुल.
तो उस वाले टैग्स के अकॉर्डिंगली यूट्यूब और भी ज्यादा पुश करता है वीडियोस टू दोज पर्टिकुलर कीवर्ड्स. फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू आर सिटिंग इन योर हॉस्टल रूम एंड यू सर्च इंडियन ट्रैवल व्लॉग, तो क्योंकि मैंने इंडियन ट्रैवल व्लॉग कीवर्ड्स में डाला हुआ होगा, आपको वो सजेशन में आ सकता है.
Mm-hmm.
स्लाइट टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स जो हम करते रहते हैं पीछे यूट्यूबर्स इज दैट ओके इफ दिस वाज अ कपल व्लॉग देन आई नो फॉर अ फैक्ट कि इंडियन हनीमून टिप्स, इंडियन हनीमून कपल ट्रैवल, इंडियन हनीमून इन मॉलडीव्स, these are some of the popular searches on YouTube that okay many people would actually be searching these. तो
Mm-hmm.
वो अगर मैं हनीमून ट्रैवल टिप्स, इंडियन देसी कपल, ये भी अगर इन्वॉल्व करता हूँ अपने टैग्स में पीछे, so
Hmm.
again YouTube helps me कि क्योंकि मैंने YouTube को spoon feed करा है at the back end that whoever is searching for these keywords, please try and suggest my video. It might be of relevance to the end user. So YouTube actually does that. But it penalizes as well because at times if I use the words Narendra Modi in a
Hmm.
couple vlog in Paris and Switzerland, which has no relevance
Hmm.
either to the title or to the description, then YouTube can penalize me as well. कि
Oh.
आपने इतने relevant keywords डाले हैं, these keywords do not have any correlation with the video, the title and the description. So then it will not show your video to a lot of people. So that is how the YouTube algorithm over the past 10 years has kept on evolving. Because see,
Interesting.
YouTube is the second biggest search engine after Google, right?
Yeah.
तो YouTube पे रोज हजारों वीडियोस चल रही हैं. हाउ विल YouTube decide that which video to show to an अखिलेश जिसने अभी इंडियन ट्रैवल व्लॉग टाइप करा है? There are 1000 videos waiting to be shown to you. But
Mm-hmm.
in your homepage, which are those 5 videos that should actually make it to your homepage? These are the algorithms which YouTube uses in order to throw those thumbnails and titles in front of you.
Mhm.
So that is one way how YouTube has evolved in the last 2 years. अब दूसरी चीज हो गई for me. अब इसमें थोड़ा ट्रिकी क्वेश्चन हो सकता है क्योंकि इफ यू सी कंटेंट is broadly divided only in two buckets. One is education and one is entertainment. I should actually turn it around. Entertainment and education.
Mhm.
या तो लोग एंटरटेनमेंट में ट्रैवल वीडियोस, डांस वीडियोस, मेकअप वीडियोस, ब्यूटी वीडियोस, सिंगिंग, म्यूजिक वीडियोस, ट्रेलर्स, ये सारा एंटरटेनमेंट वाले बकेट में आता है, जो कि इंस्टाग्राम में बाय द वे बहुत फेमस है.
Mhm.
The other category of content is educational. Yes, how to, I don't know, how to prepare for MBA.
Mhm.
CAT top colleges 2022. So the thing is, the beautiful thing about YouTube is YouTube पे लोग आते हैं with an intent to get educated as well as entertained at separate
Correct.
times. I'm sure
Correct.
you come to YouTube many times to search something. YouTube को Instagram की तरह नहीं खोलता कि अच्छा बस खोला है, I have no intention.
Mhm.
Swipe, क्या चल रहा है, क्या चल रहा है, क्या चल रहा है. You go to YouTube at times, maybe at night, maybe in the morning, maybe in your breaks, कुछ सीखने के लिए. In the education वाला category ना,
Mhm.
YouTube is pushing more and more creators in the past 2 years, because what happened was, and now the 2 year wala funda kicks in. I can actually give short answers as well and long answers as well. So you can actually tell me कि कब ज़्यादा हो रहा है, कब कम हो रहा है.
नहीं नहीं
So pandemic
आंसर
में क्या
हाँ
हुआ? All Indians had a lot of time at their hands sitting in their homes.
हम्म,
क्योंकि उनके पास और टाइम था खर्चने को, and they were actually stuck inside their homes, right? So they turned to their smartphones. कि अच्छा अब
correct.
क्या करें, टाइम पास करना है. And this is the time when Ludo King and all they started getting famous. कि अच्छा 10 साल बाद सब लूडो खेल रहे हैं. Goes on to prove कि बहुत time that hands. And also people started having some kinds of existential crisis कि यार क्या हो रहा है, इतना negativity फैली है, हम मर जाएंगे guys, जैसे apocalypse. These things actually trigger those soulful questions in you कि लाइफ है क्या, या लाइफ तो
हम्म,
ऐसी है, कल है कि नहीं पता नहीं, देखो उसको हो गया, क्या मैं बचूंगा कि नहीं, व्हाट्स द पॉइंट, व्हाट्स द पर्पस, व्हाट्स द मीनिंग. तो इस सब चक्कर में, एंड इन दीज 2 years एक्चुअली ऑल सो कॉल्ड, मतलब सही या गलत तो बाद में डिसाइड होगा, फिलोसॉफिकल यूट्यूबर्स, इंटेलेक्चुअल यूट्यूबर्स, एजुकेशन यूट्यूबर्स, लाइफ एडवाइस यूट्यूबर्स, all these kind of channels actually started rising like
yeah
anything. And this was not the time when actually I started. I started much later when the COVID had actually subsided. I just started last year.
yeah
So this changed for my category of YouTubers as well. That okay, अब education, edutainment, self improvement वाले जोन को और बढ़ावा मिलेगा, क्योंकि इन द मार्केट बिजनेस टर्म्स
mhm,
डिमांड साइड अचानक से ऊपर ऊपर जा रही है.
correct.
सप्लाई पहले चुनिंदा लोगों को था. नाउ मोर क्रिएटर्स आर एंटरिंग इनटू दैट एजुकेशन स्पेस, दैट ओके आई वी हैव टू मैच द सप्लाई फॉर द डिमांड, एंड
Hmm,
देयर विल बी अ मार्केट फॉर मी.
correct.
बिकॉज द मोमेंट आई पुट आउट एन एजुकेशनल वीडियो, मुझे लगता है ना कि कोई देखेगा भी कि नहीं,
Hmm.
आई हैव ट्रस्ट एंड कॉन्फिडेंस, द ऑडियंस तो है. अब बस एल्गोरिथम पे है कि मेरा वीडियो कितनी बार कितने लोगों के सामने पहुंचाया जाएगा. So that's the long and short of it. That how it affected content, YouTubers, for me, and overall.
So the philosophical arguments or the philosophical or whatever experience that YouTubers share in this time, it they foresaw the demand that they had, or is it just like something happened, it fell into place?
No. I'll tell you what happened. Have you heard of? Acha, I have to take names of YouTubers now because I usually resist because it can become controversial at times that why you're taking names. But these are all जिनका मैं kind of fan रहा हूँ हमेशा.
Okay,
संदीप महेश्वरी का नाम सुना है आपने?
acha. No, no,
So
I'm
yes,
not sure.
Sandeep Maheshwari. It's okay, it's okay. So Sandeep Maheshwari might be a 35 to 40-year-old gentleman जिन्होंने 7-8 साल पहले से ही लाइफ एडवाइस वाला यूट्यूब चैनल चलाया हुआ था फॉर वेरी यंग इंडिविजुअल लाइक 15 to 23 एज ग्रुप
Mhm,
लोगों का. So his content also started rising all the more in the last 2 years. But
okay,
he didn't foresee कि कोविड
correct.
आने वाला है या मैं अब करता हूँ. These
Mhm,
were those creators जो anyhow पुरातन काल से अपने उन टॉपिक्स पे वीडियोस डालते रहते थे, and they already had
हाँ,
lakhs of audience and around like a million plus audience. But right now he's standing at a 25 million audience
mhm,
because a lot of things are coming into play. कि अच्छा सामने से स्मार्टफोन यूजेज बढ़ गया, इंटरनेट सस्ता हो गया, लोगों के पास टाइम है, लेकिन वो पहले से ही वो कंटेंट बना रहे थे. सो इट वाज जस्ट व्हाट अ पेटीएम हैड आफ्टर डिमोनेटाइजेशन. पेटीएम ने फोर्स ही नहीं किया था कि
correct.
डिमोनेटाइजेशन होगी.
Mhm,
ही एनीवेज विजय शेखर शर्मा वांटेड टू मेक अ डिजिटल पेमेंट इकोसिस्टम.
mhm,
It was just that situation also acted as a catalyst and a force multiplier कि अच्छा अब अचानक से the need is there कि अब तो सीधा स्काई
mhm,
रॉकेट होके जाएगा. बट कोई भी ऐसे सोच के उस वक्त कोविड के टाइम में ये नहीं करेगा कि अच्छा चलो मैं एजुकेशनल यूट्यूबर बन जाता हूँ. यस, अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल स्टार्टेड क्रिएटिंग कंटेंट, बट ये पूरी स्पेस ही इतनी बेबी स्टेज है अभी कि किसी को पता ही नहीं है हु इज एजुकेशन, व्हाट इज एंटरटेनमेंट, व्हाट शुड आई एक्चुअली डू, फैशन करूं, ब्यूटी करूं, मेकअप करूं, ट्रैवल करूं, क्या करूं. सो आई डोंट थिंक कि एनीवन फिलोसॉफिकली थॉट कि मैं फिलोसॉफिकल यूट्यूबर बन जाता हूँ.
Correct.
अभी इस तरह का
Mhm.
डिमांड है. नोबडी एक्चुअली नोज कि सामने किस वाले टॉपिक का डिमांड है. एंड आई एक्चुअली एंड दिस question with another thing, which Manish Pandey is a mentor to many of India's biggest YouTubers. He said in some interview कि for every kind of content there is an audience out there. So whoever thinks कि अच्छा philosophical, you might think कि educational, you कौन ज्ञान लेने जाता है यार YouTube पे. Agreed that a 16-year-old might be just interested in music videos right now and hip hop and rap and all these trailers. But there will come a time in everyone's stage in life जब हम थोड़े से intellectual question जानना चाहते
Correct.
हैं. So
हाँ.
at that stage in time, you will go to YouTube and search कि अच्छा what is this, what is that,
Mhm.
what is this advice, tips for this. तब वो videos 2-3 साल पहले की पड़ी हुई मिलेंगी आपको.
Correct.
Yes, somebody had actually put out those videos. It's just that you, the seeker who has come to that particular channel.
You
तो
never know
वो
when
वाला फंडा है इसमें.
content will click with the audience. Correct.
या
हाँ
जैसे
हाँ.
अगर स्पिरिचुअलिटी है, मैं 15 ईयर ओल्ड कोई बच्चा थोड़ी स्पिरिचुअलिटी पे बाय डिफॉल्ट दैट लाइफ स्टेज इज नॉट having those questions. But yeah, 25-year-old, a 35-year-old, a 45-year-old, at different points in time in your life, such events happen that maybe you have a question. Like when I was 18, मैं पढ़ रहा था, देख रहा था कि how to what jacket to wear with which color, क्योंकि उस वक्त फैशन थोड़ा सीखने की कोशिश कर रहे होते
हाँ.
हैं. So उस टाइम मेरे को वो वाला यूट्यूब चैनल्स तक कर रहे थे. After, as time evolved, I also started searching different kinds of questions and started bumping around. So वो है.
While working in a corporate job, you might have a particular work style of approaching things. And while doing the content creation, which is like you more freedom towards it, you might have a different work style. So, what are the different work styles that you have in pursuing both of these, and how different or similar are they?
Very different. Very different. I'll tell you why. It's because the creator economy, once again, is in such a nascent stage that there are no rules written as yet.
Mhm.
There is no process written as yet. We are MBAs, Masters of Business Administration. We love process. Process नहीं होता तो process बनाने का काम दिया जाता है एक मैनेजर को कि please come in this mid stage startup. We are growing at this particular scale. We need processes for this task, which is a repetitive task. So you, Mr. MBA, please come and either put a process in place, या
Mhm.
तो हमारा पुरातन काल का जो प्रोसेस है स्ट्रीमलाइन इट कि इसमें बहुत इनएफिशिएंसीज आ चुकी हैं. So that is the whole corporate way of working, and I always love it. I'm a very structured and planned guy in my own head. I like a structured way of living, and I'm sure almost all MBAs are actually from that zone of mind. कि अच्छा, when does the day start? When does the day end? Okay, what's the timetable that's being given to you? अच्छा, मैं ये assignment रात को कर लूंगा, ये ऐसे कर लूंगा. But when it comes to YouTubing या content creation, because there are no rules written as of now,
Correct.
I had to shift my mindset entirely. I'll give you a few examples. Reason number one also becomes that the algorithm, I don't know if you heard or not, Instagram and YouTube ka algorithm changes every 10 days, every
Oh,
30 days, every 50 days. Yeah.
changes.
So, yeah. So, if a year back,
Uh-huh.
Instagram would have been saying कि image posts से Instagram शुरू हुआ था, तो images डालो. All of a sudden, reels came because TikTok was going left, right,
Mhm.
center, and they introduced कि हम भी videos करेंगे. So their algorithm changed. Now they said कि videos डालो. Now, if I were a graphic designer who does kick-ass Photoshop and puts quotes on those square-shaped images, all of a sudden I'm being asked to make videos on the same topic. But
Mhm.
you can't switch your mindset so quickly.
Yeah,
But you have to, because that
correct.
is the whole thing. और फिर रील्स में भी 15 सेकंड ड्यूरेशन हुआ, फिर 30 सेकंड हो गया, फिर 60 सेकंड हो गया. एंड सो यू नेवर नो कि अच्छा अब मैं किस ड्यूरेशन की वीडियो बनाऊं. If I have to give you 3 tips on time management in a 15-second reel, people are doing tack, 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 tack. I don't know how successful it is. I'm really kind of against it at times because real deep conversations take time at times, which is what YouTube
Mhm.
allows. So ये सब changes होते रहते हैं. And now the biggest shift again is coming in YouTube as well. What has YouTube started last year? YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
YouTube, which was a platform for long format videos, for good 15, 20-minute videos, 10-minute videos to give justice to a particular topic. उन्होंने भी टिकटॉक और इंस्टाग्राम को देख के अब शॉर्ट शुरू कर दिया है कि अच्छा
Mhm.
शॉर्ट्स का अलग से ऐप में शेल्फ आ गया है. 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. So now again, I am being forced as a YouTuber to also put shorts. If you go to my channel, वहाँ पे मैं shorts डाल रहा हूँ, not out of choice, but many times out of compulsion as well,
अच्छा.
and trying to gel well with the algorithm and the platform. So now do you think that as a corporate employee जिसमें 50 सालों से मैनेजमेंट ग्रंथ लिखे जा चुके हैं,
हम्म,
मार्केटिंग 50 साल पहले ही वही थी, कंज्यूमर बिहेवियर है, ये है, आई एम मे बी आई एम श्योर फॉर लॉट ऑफ years processes have been streamlined that this is the way to go.
हम्म,
But in this particular generation of YouTubers, there is no particular way to go. And I'll tell
हम्म,
you, I'll end the question once again with this thing. I'm a fan of goal setting.
हम्म,
गोल सेटिंग आउट ऑफ थ्री टाइप, शॉर्ट टर्म, लॉन्ग टर्म, मीडियम टर्म. यार
correct.
कोई भी गोल सेट करता है तो 6 महीने 1 साल का तो कुछ गोल सेट करोगे ना. आप एमबीए में 2 साल का गोल सेट करोगे, 2 साल में ना ये करके निकलूंगा यहाँ से.
हाँ,
In YouTubing, you can't think of a 2 year goal because you don't know
yeah,
what will YouTube be after 2 years.
very dynamic.
Augmented reality आ जाएगा, वर्चुअल रियलिटी आ जाएगा, वेब 3.0 क्या है मुझे कुछ पता ही नहीं है, एनएफटीज क्या है मुझे पता ही नहीं है, क्या क्या आने वाला है. So all you can do is actually plan just 2 to 4 months at the max. कि
हम्म,
अच्छा ये 4 महीने के लिए तो यार आई हैव अ फोरसीएबल फ्यूचर कि इस तरह का कंटेंट चल रहा है और मैं मुझे बनाना भी है. उसके बाद यूट्यूब भी बताएंगे कि भाई क्या करना है, और इंस्टाग्राम खुद ही बताएगा कि अब इस तरफ मुड़ जाओ तो आप मुड़ जाओ. So that mindset shift of a manager to think long term vis-a-vis think very short term had to actually change. And
हम्म,
the other thing is also कि अच्छा in corporate we actually have large teams.
correct.
Every piece of the process is managed by someone else. In YouTubing, 99% of the creators in India are not full-time YouTubers, which also means they have to write the script. Nobody else is writing. They have to shoot the script. Nobody else is shooting it for them. They have to edit it. Nobody else is editing it for them. They have to upload and do all the SEO for it. And then they have to promote it on their other channels. And then they have to go to analytics section of YouTube and check, ki, acha, does data also tell me something? Ki, acha, these kind of videos at this particular time actually bumped up and bumped down. So see, the entire process is not a single guy. This
Correct.
is about to change, but this is still 2 3 years down the line when every creator will have, so hopefully, two
Mhm.
three four people in his team at least to take care of this, when eventually creators will become businesses. So you
Mhm.
get the point. One is long term versus short term, and
Correct.
the other thing is there are multiple teams, but here a guy is solo, so
Solo.
it had to change.
What is the one challenge that you faced that made you change your working style? Is something you don't have to go into specifics, but
Yeah.
something
Hmm.
surface also is good.
I can think of ways. See, one was the way of working, which is called outsourcing and automation
Hmm.
and delegation. So typical. This is purely corporate lingo, by the way.
Okay.
When you're growing as a creator, and by growing I mean that okay, if I was putting out one video in 20 days, and now I'm aiming that every week there will be a video,
Hmm.
and all this alongside a corporate 9 to 5 job, it's impossible
Ah,
because you will burn out. Creator burnout is a very real thing which affects mental health also on some level. That okay, you are exhausted. Just like when you were preparing for a CAT or an
correct.
IIT JEE, burnout used to
Correct.
happen in its own shapes and size
Definitely.
and colors.
Yeah.
कि अच्छा यार इतना पढ़ रहा हूँ, school चल रहा है, school is your main job, and after school, before school, weekends, nights, you're actually burning the midnight oil कि एक चीज के लिए मैं काम कर रहा हूँ. So similar analogy over here. मुश्किल हो जाता है. So what happens is, and I'm actually fortunate to all the other YouTubers and YouTube mentors, because in the last 2 years they have made all these mistakes and have come out in the open and told कि भाई after a point you have to let go and outsource parts of a process to other
Oh.
people. What
Mhm.
it means is कि अगर मुझे editing बहुत पसंद होती, इतना
Mhm.
मैं editor नहीं हूँ, but if for example some YouTubers are editors first कि मुझे
Mhm.
video edit करने में बहुत मजा आता है, but it's one of the most painstaking process of the entire video because इतने सारे edit करने होते हैं. If you want to grow and you have to put out 3 videos every week, which Anankur Warikoo does for that matter, he cannot edit the video day in and day out. Otherwise, उनको edit ही करते रहेंगे. वो अगली वाली video के बारे में कब सोचेंगे?
Correct.
So for me, the biggest challenge in terms of changing my shifting was this: कि अच्छा parts of the process I have to unbundle and I have to keep on either eliminating. Now, this is a typical corporate framework. Useful
Mhm.
for you also, Akhilesh. कुछ parts of the process you have to eliminate. कि यार ये तो serve ही नहीं कर रहे हैं मुझे, मैं क्यों ही कर रहा हूँ? Some parts of the process you have to delegate. कि यार मेरे को हेल्प मिल सकती है क्या? My elder brother has this light, can I borrow it from him, या can I ask for his help कि Sundays को जब मिलेंगे यार आप मेरा lighting setup कर दिया करना,
Mhm.
ताकि at least my वहाँ भी time बच गया. And the third part would be outsource it. कि यार ये वाला part भाई पूरा का पूरा editing अब मेरा एक एडिटर हायर करा है मैंने फ्रीलांस से, ही एडिट्स इट फॉर मी, ताकि मैं अगली वीडियो पे जल्दी जल्दी काम करके सोच सकूं.
Mhm.
ताकि अगर मैं और न्यू वेज सोच रहा हूँ कि मुझे न्यूज़लेटर भी बनाना है, कोर्स भी बनाना है, पॉडकास्ट भी करना है, तो उसका सेटअप मुझे खुद सीखना है, विच इज योर लर्निंग वाला पार्ट. आई डू
Mhm.
नॉट नो हाउ टू पुट आउट अ पॉडकास्ट, तो मुझे पॉडकास्ट की लर्निंग करनी है. मुझे खुद पॉडकास्ट के कोर्सेज लेने पड़ रहे थे, तो
Oh.
वो टाइम कहाँ से आएगा? वो टाइम
हाँ.
यहीं से आएगा कि मेरी जो रेगुलर यूट्यूब का प्रोसेस है उसे मैं जल्दी से किसी ना किसी को आउटसोर्स कर दूं
हम्म.
एंड स्टिल समहाउ बी एबल टू सुपरवाइज एंड डायरेक्ट इट कि वो वीडियो का क्वालिटी और ऑथेंटिसिटी ना गिरे बिकॉज इट्स स्टिल मी. So
हम्म.
that is the challenge that I have to that I face. And another challenge which I'm still facing, and I'll always face is algorithm versus popularity versus users
हम्म.
versus जो मैं actually genuine
What you
बातें
want.
कहना चाहता हूँ.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the thing which everyone faces. कि यार मुझे जो बात कहनी है उसका इतना niche audience है. Like I'll tell you, book reviews,
हम्म.
which is the most famous and best-selling book on Amazon these days. Amazon पे जाओ, bestseller में जाओ, Atomic Habits पढ़ी होगी, या
हम्म.
Do Epic Shit पढ़ी होगी,
Yeah.
या all these bestsellers होगी. तो book reviews मैं उनके करूंगा तो मुझे views आएंगे. Like my
हम्म.
podcast analytics tells me Do Epic Shit by Ankur Warikoo book review by Karan Rana got 326 views, and I was like, अच्छा ये किसने देखा है podcast? But one of my other favorite books is Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. तो वो
हम्म.
अभी बेस्ट सेलर नहीं है या मे बी इट्स अ लिटिल ऑन द बैक बर्नर बट आई
हम्म.
रियली लव दैट बुक एंड आई बिलीव अखिलेश को उसमें से इतने प्यारे चैप्टर्स हैं ही कैन एक्चुअली मेक हिज लाइफ बेटर इफ ही रीड्स दैट बुक. तो मैं वो भी बनाता हूँ बट आई नो एट द कॉस्ट कि उस पर 100 व्यूज भी नहीं आने वाले हैं. बट दैट अगेन सो देयर
Yeah.
इज दिस ट्रायंगुलर बैलेंस कि ये वीडियोस तो यार मैं अपने लिए बना रहा हूँ. आई रियली फील कि जिस दिन कोई ये देखेगा उसे फायदा होगा. एंड
हम्म.
देन आई गो टू द पॉपुलर काइंड ऑफ टॉपिक्स कि अच्छा इस पे तो व्यूज आ जाएंगे तो चलो ये भी बना के दिखा देते हैं. So that's another challenge, which is कि heart versus mind का कभी कभार
हम्म.
compromise कभी कभी करना पड़ रहा होता है.
So you have to maintain a healthy balance between both of them.
Yeah, yeah.
As a creator. Interesting. Would you like to share one incident where you had to unlearn some of the things you knew and you
Hmm.
reform yourself to work better? If yes, how did you go about it? So basically, this delegation part is also something you have to unlearn from your process. So that covers it. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but there's this unlearning happening all the time. Like if you take Instagram Reels as well, if there's a particular topic जिसको time लगता है समझाने में, I had to unlearn कि यार ये इतनी लंबी बात को 10 सेकंड में कैसे कह सकते हैं. वो long format का way of thinking और this conversation is has already spanned more than an hour.
yeah.
इस conversation को अगर मुझे 15 सेकंड में कहना होगा मैं कैसे कहूंगा. I have to unlearn everything and just tell you कि 3 key takeaways from this on management in capitalism is one this, two this, three this. और ऐसे करके मैं ऐसे कुछ ट्रांजिशन करूंगा and something will happen. So this is entirely unlearning and relearning that's happening. Funny at times. Yeah, why are we doing this? But yeah, so that's the unlearning bit part of it. Another unlearning bit was that usually most of the educational topics are conversational, insightful, maybe thoughtful and deep in nature. There's not a very entertaining flavor that is sprinkled on it. But because the nature of social media and Instagram and YouTube and more other social media channels is also that you have to be entertaining. So I had to unlearn that way of delivering as well. So I've done nukkad
Oh.
nataks and I've sung in school choir groups and I've done dance competitions which are the entertainment side of things. But
Mhm.
these particular, when I'm reading a book with a cup of coffee and I want to have a conversation with you, there's nothing entertaining about it.
Yeah.
But come to social media and you're scrolling through, if I have to deliver that message to you on Instagram, I have to be entertaining to catch your
Correct.
attention in the very first second so that you'll give me your eyes and ears for the next 10 seconds. उस
Mhm.
भले ही 10 सेकंड में टॉफी का रैपर मैंने एंटरटेनिंग करा था बट टॉफी वाज एजुकेशनल ओनली बट आई हैड टू अनलर्न माय वे ऑफ डिलीवरिंग कंटेंट एज वेल. सो
Oh
दैट
wow.
थिंग आल्सो आई हैड टू अनलर्न अ बिट कि अच्छा सिर्फ ज्ञान ज्ञान नहीं चलेगा. ज्ञान शॉट्स नाम करके 3 ज्ञान शॉट्स फॉर द डे ऐसे करके बोलो तो शायद लोग सुनेंगे. तो या
What changes do you see happening in the business model as a whole, as an in the entire industry? You said it's dynamic.
सुपर इंटरेस्टिंग.
Uh,
या
in this business model, what are the foreseeable changes that you see कि हाँ भाई ऐसा हो सकता है? And उसके causes क्या लगते हैं आपको? Like, what are the causes for these changes?
This is actually the most interesting question because it's purely related to business model as well. And when you say business model, I'm thinking money and numbers as well.
Yeah.
कि अच्छा business तो तभी बनेगा ना if all parties in the ecosystem are making money and hence the ecosystem is becoming self-sustaining in a way. So see, right now I'll tell you how monetization happens for content creators, be it a YouTuber or an Instagrammer. YouTube, after a certain stage, when you get more than 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours from people like you, if you give 5 minutes to the YouTube video, वो 4,000 करने के बाद दे एक पड़ाव पार करते हो आप उनके लिए
Okay.
एंड देन दे ओपन अप द यूट्यूब एड रेवेन्यू फॉर यू. दैट ओके एड्स जो मेरी वीडियो के पहले चलते हैं, इफ देयर इज 100 रुपीज दैट यूट्यूब मेक्स टुडे, इट विल सेंड मी 50 रुपीज एंड कीप 50 रुपीज विद इटसेल्फ. That is monetization way number one. Business model number one. That okay,
Mhm.
YouTube as a platform will share money with me because मेरी वजह से काफी व्यूअर्स आ रहे हैं उनके
Correct.
प्लेटफॉर्म पे.
Hmm.
द अदर वे, तो दिस वाज द ओल्डेस्ट वे कि ये तो यूट्यूब का था ही.
Mhm.
देन द अदर थिंग कॉल्ड इन्फ्लुएंसर मार्केटिंग इज द सेकंड बिजनेस मॉडल दैट evolved over the past 5-6 years. पहले भी था, अब और ज्यादा हो रहा है, in which brands are giving me their shampoo product कि अच्छा, in your next reel just try to make a mention of a shampoo in a way that does not destroy your authenticity and is actually palatable to your audience as well. So brand deal, and they'll give me a certain amount of money, 100 rupees कि अच्छा तुम ये कहना. That is the second business model.
Mhm.
ये भी 5 साल हो गए हैं इसे आते आते, और यूट्यूब एड मनी तो और पुराना चल रहा है. The foreseeable changes that are happening, will happen, and should happen is also my answer is other avenues of business model.
Mhm.
Because see, now I'll tell you three stakeholders in this business model. One was the platform,
Mhm.
YouTube. Second was the brands, जो एक्सटर्नल पार्टी है कि वो कहेंगे कि यार आप दोनों के बीच में हम आ जाते हैं, हमारा मेंशन कर दो.
हाँ.
The third biggest stakeholder in this entire ecosystem, imagine who is it? It's you, the end users.
Audience.
तो अब बिजनेस मॉडल आगे जाते हुए ऑडियंस की तरफ शिफ्ट कर रहा है. ऑल्दो ऑब्वियसली यूट्यूब में ऑलरेडी इफ यू हैव सीन देयर इज अ थिंग कॉल्ड चैनल मेंबरशिप्स. काफी जो बड़े यूट्यूबर्स हो जाते हैं उनका
Mhm.
मेंबरशिप नाम का भी सेक्शन आता है. सो जस्ट लाइक द वे यू हैव अ नेटफ्लिक्स मेंबरशिप एंड यू पे 600 rupees टू अ नेटफ्लिक्स पर मंथ, you pay 100 rupees to an MX player per month. Similarly, maybe someday the creators will become so big that their audience pays them 50 rupees per month कि यार मुझे करण राणा की वीडियोस तो देखनी ही देखनी है. मतलब इमेजिन कि क्या होगा कि एन एंड यूजर इज पैसा निकाल रहा है वो मेंबरशिप्स देने के लिए. दैट्स द थर्ड बिजनेस मॉडल.
Mhm.
और इसी बिजनेस मॉडल थर्ड स्टेक होल्डर में आगे और रेवेन्यूज हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल देयर इज patreon.com है, and
Mhm.
there's a thing called buymeacoffee.com. These all are kind of tipping websites that
Okay.
okay, you see that I'm putting in so much effort and time and you're really benefiting from the content intellectually कि यार मुझे फायदा हो रहा है. I'll actually tip Karan from time to time कि यार ये वीडियो तो बहुत सही थी. buymeacoffee.com पे करण राणा की प्रोफाइल में गए, I don't know, 100, 200, 300, 500 rupees, whatever you put it out. And if there are hundreds of people who are doing such tippings to me, there is some kind of a passive income that gives me a moral and financial support. Ki, Acha, I'll buy another camera and light and in order to give a
Mhm.
better content the next time. इसी तरह आगे जाते जाते और भी बहुत सारी चीजें होने वाली हैं. वन इज मेंबरशिप्स हो गई, टिपिंग हो गई. द अदर थिंग एंड विच आई एम रियली एक्साइटेड अबाउट इज जो बहुत टाइम बाद आती है, वो होती है मर्चेंडाइज. जस्ट
Mhm.
इमेजिन इफ अ क्रिएटर बिल्ड्स अ कम्युनिटी, such a strong branded community that in the future people want to buy diaries and coffee mugs जो मैंने अपने करण राणा range of line in some branded way निकाली है. So it all depends on you guys, that you love the creators so much that you want to buy a coffee mug not from a Starbucks now, not from a CCD, not from an Archie's, not from a mall, not from a Myntra, not from an Amazon, but you actually want to follow the creator because you relate with him so much and you want to buy a coffee mug that he has actually coined. मतलब मैं किसी और का मग नहीं
Mhm.
प्रमोट करूंगा, मैं अपना ही प्रमोट करूंगा. एंड there'll be a hoodie called Karan Rana, One Life by Karan Rana. Karan Rana नहीं होगा उस पे लिखा, but some other thing. So
Mhm.
this is the merchandising route. So that's the business model के तीन aspects: the platform, YouTube, the brands. These two models are already up and alive.
Yeah.
But the third piece, which is the end users, the community, the end users, that is already live in a very nascent stage and is growing. Hopefully, and कब तक ग्रो करेगा, 2 साल लगेंगे, 4 साल लगेंगे. ऑफ कोर्स पहले मेट्रो सिटी के यूजर्स के पास इतना पैसा आएगा कि वो क्रिएटर्स के लेड मर्चेंडाइज खरीद रहे हैं. टियर 3 टाउन में अभी इतना परचेजिंग पावर डिस्पोजेबल नहीं है कि वो यूट्यूबर्स को टिप कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज यूट्यूब इज फ्री. लाइक यू एंड
Mhm.
आई लव वाचिंग फ्री कंटेंट, हम यूट्यूब प्रीमियम नहीं ले रहे हैं, तो हम क्रिएटर क्या मर्चेंडाइज कब लेंगे? So we are still 5 years away
Yeah.
from that perhaps, but hopefully if there is such kind of an ecosystem, who knows
Mhm.
क्या हो रहा है.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
And the way
तो
YouTube
ये
is
कुछ
growing.
चेंजेस आ रहे हैं बिजनेस मॉडल में.
Mhm. Interesting, really. Oh wow, I never thought about this so deeply, but obviously.
Yeah. So because I have to think deeply. So even social commerce is a thing which is coming on Instagram. It's already there. Social commerce is a thing कि मैं वीडियो बोलते बोलते आपको हमेशा दिख रहा होगा कि the jacket that Karan is wearing is a Jack and Jones, और उस पर क्लिक करके आप क्लिक आउट करके
Oh.
परचेज कर सकते हैं कि यार ये खरीदनी है. सो दैट इज अनदर वे इन विच मेरा मर्चेंडाइज नहीं है, but you can actually buy those things while watching a social media पे content. So these crazy things are happening, that how we can blend e-commerce अलग मत रखो, social media अलग मत रखो, social media पे ही e-commerce ले आओ, और इन्फ्लुएंसर को आगे कर दो कि इसको फॉलो करते हुए लोग ये घड़ी लेना चाहते हैं विच इज वेयरिंग, तो क्लिक ऑन इट एंड एक्चुअली बाय। तो दे आर एक्सपेरिमेंटिंग सच थिंग्स इन
That's
यूएसए, और
amazing.
फिर वो हर एक साल बाद 6 महीने बाद इंडिया में आते रहती है। सो लॉट्स ऑफ थिंग्स, एज आई टोल्ड यू, देयर इज नो रूल। 6 महीने बाद
Yeah.
कौन सा चीज चल रहा होगा, यू एंड आई डोंट नो।
Is this thing actually happening? I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
The-
it's live in China, I've heard. And then on Instagram, I don't know if it's there or not, but yeah. And once
Wow.
again, it actually happens. They first pilot it out with a certain segment of creators, and then
Okay.
they see the response. Agar viable business model lag raha hota hai, then they scale it up to different countries and in a full blown way. So I try to read up that what's happening. So that we now here's the thing. While I have to, my job is to create content. Half of the time is actually also directed towards these things. Yeah, so
Research.
how is this shaping up? How can this pay in the future? Why am I putting in so much effort? ये तो hobby और passion हो रहा है,
हाँ.
but if this starts earning money, what are the avenues? हमें
Mhm.
तो पता है ना, salaried individuals after MBA, a company will come in the Plecom committee and pick you up as a manager, and they'll have a contract of this much lakh rupees per month, and then you're sorted.
Yeah.
तो वहाँ sorted है, यहाँ sorted नहीं है, यहाँ
Mm.
चीजें evolve हो रही हैं, so things are brewing up and it's exciting.
This blows my mind because many times look at any video and I see, okay, this shirt would look nice on me, and I try to find it online, but couldn't find
Yeah.
it. This is amazing.
Imagine. So that's the use case that
Yeah.
अगर वहीं पे option आ जाए and you are made aware and you are educated enough कि हाँ यहाँ से भी खरीद सकते हैं.
हाँ हाँ. Wow. Okay. Very nice. What changes would you like to make to the status quo in the business overall? That you would like to make these changes overall. So anything. This is an open-ended thing. So how what changes in status quo for anyone, for the business
Yeah.
as a whole?
Yeah. So there are obviously. So in terms of the creators, there are certain segments of creators just for an easy understanding of people. There are called celebrities, there are called mega influencers, then macro influencers, then micro influencers, then nano influencers.
Okay.
इसकी 1,000 से कम फॉलोइंग है वो नानो, जो 1 से 10,000 वो माइक्रो, एंड टाटा टाटा lakhs of followers तो mega influencers. So what happens is that usually when brands approach influencers, usually वो बड़े influencers को करा करते थे, because the brand side business objective is always reach and more impressions in the digital ecosystem. So most of the money at this point in time, and this is like a statistic which in here say we get to know, कि अभी like many other industries, the pay parity is heavily skewed towards the biggest creators.
Mhm.
If there are 100 creators in India, then only the top 5 are getting maybe 80% of the money. तो
Okay.
इतना स्क्यू जो होता है पे में, वो it's a little unhealthy at times. That okay, if a brand had 100 rupees to spend, it should actually have trickled down in a waterfall manner to all different segments of creators.
Correct.
Now a thing that in the past 1.5 years, there you read up this, it's very
Mhm.
exciting कि माइक्रो और नैनो इन्फ्लुएंसर्स का जमाना आ रहा है. Why? There's a win-win situation to it, that people know that micro or nano influencers, for example, and Akhilesh at this point in time, although Karan has only 661 subscribers, but Akhilesh is an engaged viewer with Karan and he actually relates with him. तो engagement छोटे influencers का ज्यादा strong होता है.
Mhm.
तो मेरे साथ मेरा इन्फ्लुएंस आप पे इस वक्त ज्यादा होगा वीजा वी जब मैं दिशा पाटनी जितना बड़ा सेलिब्रिटी बन गया हूँ, and there I have millions of followers. So at that point in time, we have a lot of reach. But how many people actually readily buy a product which a Disha Patni is holding a Pepsi in her hand? So Pepsi ले लेंगे. नहीं, वो नहीं होता, because they give you a lot of reach, like a भोंपू कि अच्छा सब पे पहुंच गई वो बात. But the engagement, the very deep relationship, intimate that is shared between a creator and a user, वो missing होती है.
Mhm.
So the first model change that I would like to have is that this money should be equitably distributed among all segments of creators, which has begun to happen in a way, in a small way,
Mhm.
because brands will now spend their 100 rupees among 200 creators rather than spend it all on just 5 creators, क्योंकि उन्हें भी वहां से बहुत कुछ मिल रहा है. That's one. And of course, the other business model change I would want, and every creator wants it, we do not want to be at the mercy of algorithms of
Algorithm.
YouTube and Instagram,
Mhm.
because we have a thing to say. We are very sure of what we creators want to say, but
Mhm.
please don't play with our emotions every month. That okay, now we have to make a video, now we have to make a 15-second video, and now we have to deliberately put those keywords, or we have to put, I don't know, all these algorithmic changes we have to put. I'll share you a very relevant example. If
Mhm.
I'm an edutainment influencer, I have to go on Instagram. I want to grow an Instagram audience. I have to be discovered by thousands and lakhs of people first before gaining hundreds of followers. तो अब डिस्कवरेबिलिटी रील्स रहती हैं, बिकॉज
Mhm.
रील्स इज व्हाट थाउजेंड्स ऑफ पीपल आर एक्चुअली स्वाइपिंग अप डे आफ्टर डे, आवर आफ्टर आवर। एंड द ट्रेंडिंग ऑडियो यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड इज अ थिंग कि अच्छा कौन सा ऑडियो आजकल ट्रेंड कर रहा है। You go on Instagram because you have been a little away. I would actually suggest you go on Instagram. Trending audios चल रहे होते हैं वहां पे।
Okay.
तो वो वाला ऑडियो के reels are being served day in and day out to lakhs of people. Now the problem is, if I'm giving a talking head shot to you, if I'm giving 3 management tips to you, और trending audio है हार्डी संधू का बिजली बिजली, I cannot put that music on my conversation
Correct.
even at 5% volume, but
Mhm.
sometimes I have to do it. और उसको
Oh,
1% वॉल्यूम पे मैं रखता हूँ उसमें, सो दैट
okay.
एल्गोरिथम को
Mhm.
लगे कि अच्छा ये ट्रेंडिंग ऑडियो पे करण ने कोई रील डाली है, ये अब इस ट्रेंडिंग वाले सेक्शन में सबको दिखाई जाए।
Oh.
while the actual once again packaging is of that audio, but actual मैं एक deep thoughtful बात कहना चाह रहा हूँ। So sometimes we have to do such things, and I'll not say that the platform is entirely up to blame, because I'm also playing these little gimmicky tricks, right? कि अच्छा
Mhm.
मैं बिना ऑडियो के भी तो डाल सकता था वो सॉन्ग के बिना अपनी बात रील पे कह दूं, but only 10 people will watch it.
Mhm.
I have to put it on a vehicle called Instagram Reels, और उस पे भी हाई स्पीड लेन में उस गाड़ी को डालना होगा मुझे जो कि है ट्रेंडिंग ऑडियो, in order for it to be discovered all the way from Delhi to Kanyakumari. But I know for a fact that I'm kind of under a compulsion of the algorithm to do such things. So the second business model that I would like to change is that the algorithm should not change that often, so that
Mhm.
creators, there's a thing called insecurity. Creators are
Yeah.
insecure people that okay, अब क्या हो जाएगा, अब ये
Mhm.
होगा कि नहीं होगा. So yeah, that is the thing. Everything should get its view. But all this said and done, आराम से करेंगे अगर लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए कोई है, इफ आई कीप पुटिंग आउट कंटेंट, इफ यू बी एंगेज्ड, होपफुली धीरे धीरे कम्युनिटी बनती रहेगी। वी नेवर यूज्ड टू केयर अबाउट these things 10 years back, right? It's
Yeah.
only because creators are getting a little famous, creator economy is, so to say, scaling up. So we ourselves are getting greedy at points in time कि अच्छा जल्दी जल्दी करो, जल्दी जल्दी करो, अभी करना है, मैं पहले आ जाऊं, मैं आगे आ जाऊं, मेरे ज्यादा यूजर्स बन जाए। तो
Mhm.
जल्दी हम भी तो मचा रहे हैं। So kind of this model can become a little unhealthy at times.
So this new algorithms that you have to deal with every now and then. So you'll have to study this new algorithm very frequently, right? Like, so you'll have to
Yeah.
go through that. So how do you come to know that the algorithm has been changed? Does
So
YouTube
what
let you know?
happens is, yeah, at times what happens is Google, which owns YouTube, usually whenever they make any new changes to their features,
Okay.
they put out articles on their official websites that okay, there is a new feature that has been rolled out, जिसमें ये होगा. So we know for a fact all creators, and within minutes and hours, all the agencies and influencer marketing.coms and all the media agencies, they put out the actual meaning behind that article कि अच्छा ये
Okay.
feature launch हुआ है, तो इसका मतलब ये होने वाला है, मतलब फॉर्मेट में वीडियो हिट होने वाला है, मतलब ऑडियो में ट्रेंडिंग हिट होने वाला है, मतलब ड्यूरेशन में अंडर 10 सेकंड हिट होने वाला है।
Wow.
तो वो सब एल्गोरिथम के एक्सप्लेनेशन, जस्ट लाइक अ पॉलिटिकल डिबेट, जस्ट लाइक अ यूनाइटेड नेशंस की कॉन्फ्रेंस, दैट पीपल से इन अ वेरी डिप्लोमेटिक मैनर, बट वीजा वी आज तक इज एक्चुअली टेलिंग कि उन्होंने जो कहा है 1 मिनट का वो फॉर्मल बाइट, उसका एक्चुअल मीनिंग ये है, what it
Uh,
means for India is this, what it means for geopolitics is this. So we have to fathom that information coming from the official horse's mouth and actually trickle it down that on the execution floor for us as creators, अब ये करना पड़ेगा, अब ये
Mhm.
ऐसा होने वाला है, and all of this is speculative, that okay, if the duration of reels has been extended from 15 seconds to now 60 seconds, so we have to interpret it that why has Instagram done it, क्योंकि लग रहा है 15 सेकंड में एंगेजमेंट कम आ रहा था, ज्यादा आ रहा था, तो 60 सेकंड में थोड़ा लॉन्ग फॉर्म और ज्यादा टाइम स्पेंड होगा, तो एफिलेज जैसे हजारों लोग अब 15 सेकंड की जगह एक एक मिनट देंगे तो शायद ही होगा। ऑल ऑफ दीज आर इंटरप्रिटेशन, माइट बी करेक्ट, माइट बी रॉन्ग। सो
Mhm.
दिस इज द वे द न्यूज trickles down and we try to get our heads around it. And then all these articles and YouTubers channel analysis, there are people whose jobs are this, कि अच्छा वो हमारे लिए कन्वर्ट करके बताते हैं कि आप अब आप ऐसे करिए, फिर अगले महीने आएंगे नहीं नहीं अब आप ऐसे करिए, एंड देन द अदर गाय विल बी सेइंग कि नहीं नहीं भाड़ में गया सब, आप ऐसे ही करिए। एंड देन वी आर लाइक अच्छा, and I'm actually in that stage that I actually have to shut down the entire laptop, just focus on the next script and say it out in front of camera, the sweet conversation, forget everything।
Uh,
क्यों इस सब चक्कर में पड़े हुए हो,
कितना
वो
चेंज
होते
करेंगे?
रहेगा। हाँ कितना चेंज करेंगे, मतलब मेन काम करें या पहले ये सब देखें।
Wow, I never thought so much difficulty goes into, like, I knew it's difficult, but my what my imagination was, the more difficulty with the creative aspect. So much technical aspects come into it, like the rules changing and all.
Yeah.
This I never imagined. But
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. Take time of upload for that matter कि सुबह अपलोड करूं वीडियो रेडी है
Yeah.
सुबह अपलोड करूं दोपहर को अपलोड करूं शाम को अपलोड करूं या रात को अपलोड करूं कब ज्यादा व्यूज आएंगे अच्छा अपलोड करते ही एकदम इंस्टाग्राम और ट्विटर और लिंक्डइन पे पोस्ट डाल दूं ताकि 10-10 लोग वहां से आ जाएं बिकॉज यूट्यूब्स एल्गोरिथम इन द वेरी फर्स्ट आवर एंड वेरी फर्स्ट 24 आवर्स आवर बाय आवर इट जजेस कि इस पर्टिकुलर वीडियो को कितने व्यूज लाइक्स या कमेंट्स आ रहे हैं इफ
Mhm.
यू गो टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल राइट नाउ और मेरी लास्ट वीडियो लेटेस्ट वीडियो पे लाइक कर दोगे और कमेंट कर दोगे तो यूट्यूब को लगेगा अच्छा 25-year-old Navi Mumbai people, one guy has liked it. Maybe more 25-year-old boys from Navi Mumbai are also likely to like it. So it will immediately throw my video to your friend circle on YouTube कि क्या पता इन्हें भी पसंद आ जाए.
Wow.
So that one like and comment of yours was important to me in order to push out my video to 10 more people like you जिनमें से शायद एक को फिर से क्लिक कर जाए because
Mhm.
friend circles are like us only ना जो तुम्हें
Yeah.
पसंद है वो मुझे भी पसंद है
Mhm.
we are kind of a community so this is how the algorithm works so the pressure on the creator is that okay as soon as you upload somehow trick the system kind of promote it left right and center ask your friends to like comment and subscribe so that YouTube actually reaches to more people जो मेरी जेन्युइन विश है कि यार आई वांट टू रीच मोर पीपल मेरा
Yeah.
कंटेंट और लोगों की सहायता कर सकता है बट आई हैव टू प्ले दैट गिमिक फॉर द नेक्स्ट 2 आवर्स इमीडिएटली आफ्टर हिटिंग अपलोड कि ना ओके प्रमोट 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 प्रमोट
Mhm.
तो कभी कभार थोड़ा लोगों को लगता है कि यार नॉट एवरीवन इज अ सेल्सy guy
Mhm.
but one has to put on that hat at times
Yeah, yeah. It's if the कंटेंट को बाहर तक ले आने के लिए अगर ये जरूरी है तो इट्स करना ही चाहिए.
yeah yeah
Hmm. Interesting. I got a very insightful point of view as to how things work in your industry. One more question from just a fan. So which
yeah
challenge for you was the
yeah fan
difficult?
yeah
Matlab, I like watching. So what
yeah
challenge was the most difficult for you to do? Like you recently you did the leaving the non-veg one. What was the most difficult one?
अच्छा डिफिकल्ट डिफिकल्ट यार सभी डिफिकल्ट होता है एट पॉइंट्स इन टाइम लाइक द प्रॉब्लम इज कि अगर मैं चिकन लवर हूं तो चिकन छोड़ना मुश्किल होगा शुगर इज अ पार्ट ऑफ आवर डेली लाइफ तो इफ आई गिव अप टोमेटो केचप जो मुझे सुबह सैंडविच के
Yeah.
साथ चाहिए तो डिफिकल्ट होगा सो दिस लिटिल लिटिल थिंग्स व्हिच हैव एक्चुअली वी बिकेम सो मच हैबिचुअल टू उसको करना माइंड के लिए बहुत ट्रिकी हो जाता है कि यार क्यों कर रहा हूँ अरे नहीं करने का बहुत मन कर रहा है so these kind of 30-day challenges होते हैं but that's my entire thing fortunately I like putting myself in those discipline zones थोड़ा वाला learning zones थोड़ा experimenting zones because उसमें हमें मजा आता है right कि
Hmm.
अच्छा how far can we take our brain how far can we take our bodies तो उसमें मजा आता है लेकिन पेन भी होती है just like a gymming उसमें भी तो डिफिकल्टी होता है
Yeah.
कि अच्छा वेट लॉस करना है आई हैव नेवर फेल्ट all gung ho about going to the gym in the first minute but after that अच्छा लग रहा होता है बट वो भी डिफिकल्ट ही होता है वो चैलेंज तो आई थिंक मुश्किल होता है
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you
चलो
for thank
awesome
you for taking out time, first of all, for this interaction. I'm so very glad that I
I
got
loved
a
it
chance to,
चलो loved interacting
yeah,
यार
loved
Akhilesh take
interacting.
care and yeah चलो
Thank
bye
you. Thank
good
you so
night
much. Have a good night. Bye.